Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So Ramadan is already over, but the blessings of the Ramadan months are with us. And we are in e-commerce SEO Ramadan series and it's session 16. And today I have a very special guest with us, Mr. Fery Kaszoni, who is the founder of Search Intelligence Ltd. And I think that company has already crossed 10 million pounds revenue. Like Ferry?
Well, 10 million pounds in the past 3 years. So last year we have exceeded 5.5 million. So
Perfect.
that's in 1 year. But last week we had the week when, for the past 3 years, I think three or 4 years, we have exceeded 10 million. But the growth has been like exponential. So we have had 100,000 pounds in revenue in 2020, and then we had I think 890,000 in 2021. Then we had, I think, 2.9 million in 2022, and then last year we have crossed the 5.5 million mark, which is it's a blessing, and yeah, hopefully we can keep on growing.
All right, perfect. So, on the behalf of our ESTP, which is an initiative where we help and share our knowledge with our people, I really want to say thanks to you for taking your time and coming to this session. Welcome to the e-commerce SEO Ramadan series.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and it is an honor to be here and hopefully help others and share all the knowledge that I have.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. So let's start. My first question is, when did you started SEO?
So SEO, I started in 2008, I think. I was painting cars, right? And
All right.
I work in the workshop, and I've heard on the news that I think NASA has found water on the moon. I think if you Google this story, you will find it back in 2008. And it was so fascinating. I had like a Blogspot blog, and I said, I'm going to write about this on my blog. And I wrote about this on my blog in my break. And I forgot about it. I went back to painting cars in the afternoon, and then I go log in to my dashboard, to my Blogspot dashboard in the evening, and I see there's been like 20,000 visitors who have read my blog about what I've heard on the radio, like that NASA found water on the moon, and I was shocked. I was like, how can this happen? I googled water on the moon, and I was like #1 for that key phrase. And back then, especially I was back in Romania, and back then the news were not as reactive. It was not as crazy as it is now. So I was the first one who wrote like a thorough article about that, and I said, "This is amazing! Like, it feels so good to know that 20,000 people have seen your writing, like your lunch break." I said, "I must do this more often." So I started translating English articles to Romanian onto like lots of Blogspot blogs, and with no like investment. I was just like, what's the free platform? And for whoever has been in the SEO back then, you might know that Blogspot was like a hot subdomain.
Exactly.
You can literally rank for like super like insurance keywords with Blogspot. So I've had lots of fun there, and then I kept on painting cars until 2017. In 2017, I quit my job and I started being more serious with the company. And in 2020, I was just building websites, my own web assets, until 2020. And in 2020, I said, we have to scale now. It's time to do something crazy. The world is going crazy with the pandemic, and it doesn't matter whatever we risk is going to be fine, because like how much crazier can it be than what it is? So I started posting on LinkedIn. Of course, LinkedIn changed my life, and I started having people coming to me saying, "Hey Ferry, I've seen your SEO insights or your case studies, we need help." And I was like, this is crazy. I never had anyone coming to me for SEO. I was always emailing people, "Hey, do you want help with web development, blah blah blah." And this was a shocker for me, and I said, "Okay, well, yeah, we can do it, but it's going to be £5,000 a month." And they were like, "Okay, send us the invoice and we're ready to get started." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, do you not want like more meetings?" I'm like, "No, we've seen your posts, what you do, let's roll." And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I started
All
posting even more
right.
on LinkedIn, and even more. But of course, the posts are like about something that helps people. It's never like, oh, do you want help with SEO? I can help you. This is how, if you reach out to me, then I will help you. It's not like that. It's like, hey, this is how you can do it. This is how, you can do SEO. This is how the successful companies have done it. This is the recipe, exactly how, I think they've done it. And it's always like pure value, almost like selfless value that you share. And after sharing that for many months, and more clients came to me and said, this is magic. So this was a pivotal kind of thing in my life, not just in my business, in my life, where I discovered how much love can bring back when you share something selflessly without being afraid that others are going to steal your strategies. It just goes out. It creates, creates some waves in the in the universe, like karma, whatever you would call it. Like God notices it, and then it sends you lots of good things back. It's magic.
Yes, there is. I think this is a natural principle. Whatever the name or religion we gave it to it exists. I really felt that during this Ramadan e-commerce series. So let's get to this question where I want to ask you, from being an SEO where you were testing sites, where you were running blogs, when did you decided to go specifically into the digital PR? How did you narrow down yourself and your agency's trajectory specifically for digital PR?
It's been towards late 2021.
Perfect.
I was very passionate about link building. So even before, I had a full-time agency, like I was full-time committed to my business, I was doing research on I know there was a company in London who had 2,000 domain names and lots of PBNs, with almost like a very niche specific pages on each website. And I was researching them. I was fascinated by links, how links work. And I was doing lots of guest posts, lots of forum link building. But then I was always, almost like jealous of like these big, link, like the big companies who are landing the big, forums and the big links. And I was like, how can we replicate this? How can this be done? And then I've seen some digital PR companies doing it. I started studying them, like, hey, how do they do it? And we started experimenting in-house in 2021. And then towards the end of 2021, we said, like, we are going all in with this. And then we've decided, I think in 2022, we said no more SEO services, no more SEO audits, no more technical SEO, no more anything, no more guest blogs, no more content creation. We're going to just go and do just digital PR. We specialize in just one service, and we push all the investment, all the money, all the research, the R&D, right, back into this single service. So all the mental power of all the clever people at the company focus on one thing: how can we make this happen? And that's where we kind of pivoted to this.
Perfect. So right now you're offering digital PR. What do you think? Is there any, what's the level of saturation if we compare two things like SEO in general, like we are like an agency who is saying that we are offering SEO services, and an agency like yours who is saying we are only doing digital PR. What's the level of saturation do you think exists in the market right now?
Do you mean level of saturation for digital PR or for like the SEO services?
If we compare these two,
I think digital PR is in higher demand. I mean, I think SEO is in high demand. Like, I think there's always, every time there's a Google update, there's even more demand for SEO because people panic and think, oh, we need to change strategy. We will shift agencies. So it's always like a big change in every time there's a Google update. I think we should embrace it as SEO agencies because we know people will be, shifting budgets. They will be shifting agencies, even though it's not the agency's fault, of course. But they will perceive it, like clients do perceive it as like, oh, this agency has not done a good job. Let's move. But then the cycle just repeats and it goes around again. It's not the SEO agency's fault most of the time. It's just, that's how just Google works. We just have to find a new strategy. But I think SEO and digital PR are both in super hot demand. And as long as we can prove that we deliver with both SEO and digital PR, then there's going to be like unlimited demand for both services.
All right, perfect.
For the near future, yeah.
Perfect. So let's get into it. How people from our side, our region, from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, who are not into your world, first world, I say, like in US, that are not into that much of the news, how they can replicate the process of building these most deadliest links on planet Earth.
Yes, like the link juice drink, right?
Let's get to the main topic right now.
Well, by start watching the news that are running in the UK and in the US and the West. I think that's how you do it. You have to understand. There's no shortcuts to it. And you just have to understand the culture as well. So not just the news, because that's why we are not kind of adventuring into like the Italian for now, or like the other markets. We are doing US and UK because we know the culture. Our team members are trained on PR, but that's not enough. They have to understand the culture, the vibe of the culture, the vibe of the news, right? So first of all, it's not just the knowledge that, oh, this is how you craft a press release, but the knowledge of the population, the knowledge of the people, the knowledge of what people would actually read. And that's very important. So learn the culture, learn the news vibes, and then you have something good to start with.
Perfect. So please share your process, how you guys start a digital PR campaign, how you guys take ideas, how you guys take data, the most important thing.
Yeah. So let me share the screen. I'm going to show you a few.
Yep,
like a
you
few.
can share your screen.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm just going to close the window as well. Just 1 second. It's going to be.
All right.
People are going home from work, and there's like the cars are driving around, but now the window is closed, so it should be okay. I'm going to share this desktop. Nice. You might be able to see it.
It
Great.
seems
So,
like a mushpuri peak.
good. So, what is digital PR? I think before we even, elaborate on how you do it, we must understand what it is and what it's not, right? Because it's very important, especially if you are selling it to your clients. It's very important to sell it the right way. Otherwise, it's going to cause lots of problems down the line. So when a client comes to you and says, oh, we are launching this, a revolutionary new feature on our website that's going to allow you to search, properties, like the Uber of like property search, and that we want to promote it with digital PR, then you have to say to the client, well, thank you very much. I think it's great, but this service is probably not for you. You might be looking for brand PR, where we promote your products or your services. But we do with digital PR, at least the way we do it and the way most digital PR companies are doing it, that will not get you links. And I always, and you always have to be brutal with the client, saying, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about your revolutionary Uber or whatever search feature that you have launched. Journalists care about an insight. They care about something that's interesting to the wide audience, like completely, selfless. You cannot be like, we think that our product is like the best. Like, nobody cares. So you have to clarify this to the client when they join, before they join. Now, when they join, it's too late, because then you might have to give them a refund. So before they join, you have to tell them this. Our service is specifically focused on earning links. Therefore, the only way to earn links and make sure that we earn links is going to be by finding something that's relevant to your niche or close to your niche, and sharing some interesting insights with the press, and we'll put you forward as a thought leader in your field, and that is how we will earn the links for you, not by talking about you, not by talking about your product. So it's very, very important to sell this in the right way. After you clarify things, then you can move on to like, what is digital PR. So again, it's not the magic solution to every ranking problem or to like link building. It's not the only link building that people should do, even though I should be biased and saying, yeah, digital PR is the only link building you should do. No, I think people and clients should be educated that it's going to be a supportive pillar in the link building strategy. It's not going to be the link building strategy. So you still have to do some other types of link building as well, like guest posts. Yes, I know it's very notorious and like, yeah, you shouldn't buy links, but I think you should still buy links because all the competitors are buying it. Buy it the right way and do it the right way, but you should not abandon guest blogs. just because you have discovered digital PR. Also, do some other, link exchanges and some other link building methods that are kind of working if done well. So make sure that clients understand that digital PR is not the cure-all solution. And after they understood it, then we can talk, right? Then you can send them the invoice, get the payment, and then we can start working on it. So what types of digital PR we do at the company, and you can also do. It's 3 types of digital PR, and this is the most, these are the most popular ones. And there are some other ones like product PR and so on, where you try to tie it into some trending news, but that's kind of different, and we don't do that. So I cannot give any share any knowledge on that. But there's reactive PR. So reactive PR means something sensational happens in the world, and you immediately grab your client and plug it into the news agenda with an opinion on that thing, or with an expert tip, or even with just a Google Trends image that you can share and say, hey, our client discovered that actually because this happened, this other like searches for this thing have exploded. So that's reactive PR. If somebody follows me, they might have seen this reactive campaign. So whenever Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg announced that they're going to fight, we had a client called Total Shape, and we still have it. So we Total Shape when our team members heard that, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are probably going to fight. Somebody put the URL of the news in the channel, like I think it was a BBC link or something like that, and then we immediately jumped on the channel, say who is a fitness client who we can put forward, and just add an expert opinion on who would win. So this is this is a reactive piece, a reactive PR, because within the 2 hours this piece was out, and we sent it out to 1,000 journalists already. So this is the link according to Total Shape, and this is where the link is, right? So according to Total Shape, a health and fitness platform that provides resources and expertise from fitness experts, Zuckerberg's ability to complete extreme fitness challenges. So we just said Mark Zuckerberg is most likely to win because he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That was our campaign. It was a 2 hours job. We pushed it out. It was right. It was the right timing, and he got us. I think this got us probably close to 100 links. It was like Daily Star, the Register, Metro. It was everywhere. Even Wikipedia quoted us. Total Shape said that also Musk and the morphic body type, blah, blah, blah. So even Wikipedia picked up our comment, right? This is, reactive PR. So the way you do reactive PR, this has to go out within the hours. You cannot wait for days. Whenever something breaks out, if you can react within the next 2 hours, you will have lots of links, lots of links. Every time Taylor Swift is doing something, we just react. If there's something sensational and the news are, buzzing, if we push it out, we know it's going to be a massive link magnet. So reactive PR is watch the news and react to it, plug your client in, and let's say if a celebrity divorces, right? There's a big news that I know, whatever big celebrity will divorce. Within the 2-3 hours, if you can push something out, if you have a divorce lawyer client, you can push them out and say, divorce lawyer, reveal how many millions we think, this, celebrity would have to split with their spouse according to legislation in their state. And then you will definitely get 20 links with this, because we know everyone will be writing about that divorce, that sensational story. And your client, if you can put them forward as the first expert who comments on it, push it out to journalists, they will cover the story 100%. So that's reactive PR.
All right.
Do you have any questions on this, or do we wait for the questions at the end?
We will wait for the questions at the end.
Amazing.
Please continue.
Oh, super. So that's reactive PR. Expert commentary PR is where we know that journalists need experts, right? Journalists cannot say that they think these are the best supplements to take when you go to sleep, or these are the songs that you should listen to when you go to sleep, because it's like how do you know? You're just a journalist, right? Even though they could just Google it and they could say, well, we know they have no because that's how journalism works. A journalist has to be unbiased, and they cannot have an opinion. Journalists can only share the opinions of others. That's why journalists always need experts. If you have a fitness expert or a sleep expert or a technology expert or like a cybersecurity expert for Black Friday, cybersecurity campaigns are smashing it, because we know every journalist will be writing about how to protect yourself from, Black Friday scams. And every cybersecurity expert will get lots of links, because, if you put them forward as the expert who comments on, Black Friday trends. So this is an example of an expert commentary piece. This is for our client Bad Kingdom, right? This is the link. And all we've done is we just created an expert commentary piece about what it means if you let your pet sleep in your bed, and it's actually going to improve your sleep. So we've done some research on behalf of our client on, well, pets improve your sleep, and we have found that yes. And then we created an expert piece, expert commentary piece with some advice. We pushed it to the client, said, this is what we're going to push out. Do you approve of it? And they said yes. And we pushed it out. And it's got like lots of links, including, including Tech Radar, which is, like one of the, most reputable publications in the world, and lots of others as well. And we got the link to one of the inner pages. But also, Bad Kingdom have been running expert commentary pieces with us at three per month. So if you Google bunk beds in the UK, you might see our client #1, right? And it's not just our links, right? It's not just our links, and not just the expert commentary. They also have good products. But this is kind of what you can achieve if you run digital PR for many, many years in a row. And this is one example of a link that we've done. We do mostly, expert commentary for them. So we always put them forward as the experts who, comment on, like, if it's a Christmas, then we say, how can you get your kids to fall asleep on Christmas Eve when Santa Claus is coming, or something like that, right? And it's about sleep, or, the best expert advice is not to wash your bed sheets in the morning, not to make your bed in the morning, because if you cover your bed, and if you make your bed, then there's some bacteria that develops during nighttime that will not be dying otherwise, and it will survive for the next night. So if you leave your bed unmade during the day, then it's a good thing. And that's like a shocking news, because like people say you have to be disciplined, make your bed in the morning, right? So this is the way, you can put your clients forward as the expert. So that's expert commentary type of campaigns. Data campaigns are very, very powerful, because with data campaigns, you can, the value comes from you spending many days on research, you spending many days on compiling data sets that journalists would take many days to do. So they don't want to do it, they don't have the time. And the value from you comes, you've put in the time to actually create something interesting that's interesting to the audience, so they can just take the insights and just, write about it, rewrite it. Of course, they always rewrite it their style, but you give them a foundation, you give them a work that you spent a week on, and they can have it out in like 2 hours. That's the value that you give with data campaigns. And it's very powerful, because sometimes you can do, 50 state-wide campaigns. Let's say the most dangerous states to drive in America, based on, the number of accidents and population. So how many accidents were in every state in America per 100,000 inhabitants. If you do that, you can just push it out to like all 50 states. And you can say, New York is the least dangerous, the least dangerous state to drive in, even though it's got the most accidents overall, right? But not the most accidents per 100K inhabitants, right? So you can play with this, and it's very, very powerful, because you can have, a big pool of journalists who you can reach out to, especially if you like regionalize the data. This is a good example of an interesting story and of like a campaign that involves data. So this is a story about how much would video game characters earn if they would be real life people. So Mario is a plumber. He would, even though he's one of the most popular one, he would be kind of an average, average earner. The client was Solitaire. We've done it for them. Let me just go to the list. So Handsome Jack is the richest, video game character, because he would earn this amount of money, £333,000 as a CEO. And I think, and let me just see, the poorest one is actually Pac-Man, which is, I think, the most popular video game character, but he's just a security guard and he only earns 15 grand a year, which is like nothing for the UK, right? So it's a very low salary. So that was the shocking, factor in this, and journalists just love this. So that's a data that we've done, based on, like, I think we went to Indeed and we have found the average salary for every kind of video game character if they were like real life, and we put it in nice email. We shared the top 10 or like the top 20, I think, and the bottom 20, and we push it out, and we try to play with the titles as well. Like, Pac-Man would be the poorest video game character if he was a real life, person. And it worked really well. So that's kind of the data campaign.
All right, all right. This example reminded me a store where we were selling video game replica swords, and after selling those stuff, I was really a fan of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy, and now I got another angle from this particular story.
Yes, go for it.
Thanks, man.
It's very good. It's very good. Like this study can be done in like 1,000 angles. You can do like video game character that would earn more than a doctor, right? If you have a medical client or something, you can play, you can play around with the like to the infinity. So that's like kind of a data campaign. I said you can do like statewide. You can find government data sets based on accidents and even like average lifespan and so on. So these three are the campaigns that will get you the most links according to our knowledge and according to how we do it so far. So I think the most difficult part of digital PR is finding good ideas. So what are good ideas? Good ideas are not the most unique ideas. In fact, the more unique idea, the more unique the idea is, the more risky it is, and the least likely it is to actually get you links. You never want to be too adventurous with the ideas. You can try it, and you should try, adventures like the video game characters. That was a unique one, but it's a very risky, because sometimes a very unique idea is not proven to be working previously. So a good idea is an idea, especially if you're focusing on earning, consistent links, or ideas that have been proven to be working in the past. Like with sleep, it's like sleep is like the best, because we know that every time the clock changes, journalists are going to speak about how the clock change, that putting like the hours back 1 hour will affect your sleep habits. If you have a sleep expert, you push it out, easy links. They will land, or they will always land links, right? If you have let's say a dating client, every time there's every time there's like an event like Christmas or even New Year's Eve, or of course Valentine's Day, like a heaven for link building for all the dating clients, or like relationship clients, because every time there's such an event, people will be like, a relationship expert reveals how to find your love during Christmas, or relationship expert reveals how to spend your night as a single person on Valentine's Day, or how to find a perfect love on the day when everyone is full of love, right? It's you should go for topics that are that are proven to be working. So let me just show you an example. If you have a fitness client, you should start the ideation from Google. Expert reveals, right? There's always that's the best way to start. Because journalists will cover those types of stories, and it's proven that they have covered it before. Let me just go to news, and we'll say fitness expert reveals why she never eats grated cheese after sharing ingredients list, right? You can just share, lists that you don't eat, and you get links. Fitness expert reveals worst mistakes that could stop you losing weight. It's an evergreen story. You can launch this campaign every 3 months, and you will land new links every 3 months, right? Let me just see. from Gold Plans Explained, right? So that was their client. This is not our campaign. Somebody else has done it, or maybe even them have done it, like the actual website PR department, and they just shared the mistakes that could stop you from losing weight. Launch this campaign with different advice every 3 months or every 2 months even, and you will definitely land links in top tier publications, because these journalists need experts. They need somebody to support their story, right? So that's how you start. Let's find another one. Expert reveals car insurance. This might, let's see. Small things you can do to keep your car insurance down, right?
Perfect.
For everything you can find expert reveals kind of codes for everything. Money savings expert, right? I mean, I think this was an internal, this was a PR campaign done by them internally, but this is what journalists want. They want experts who they can quote and who they can share tips on, right? And let's see. Lease Car UK, that's a digital PR campaign, right? I think they might have an agency who they are working with, and that's how you can find ideas. Redo this campaign every 3 months. Maybe you can do €4 or £4 household item, change the advice a little bit, and you'll get the same links. It's the easiest way to find ideas with this expert reveals and then car insurance, right? I bet if you redo most of these, they will still get you new links, because journalists need interesting stories. They need experts consistently. So that's how I start, ideation. Of course, there's many other ways. I'm just showing the simplest ways to do it. The other way is find websites who run lots of digital PR campaigns, and lots of digital PR campaigns that involve an asset. So these, expert reveals, they don't involve an asset on the website, but the links go to the homepage. But there are some big websites that actually spend, millions and millions of pounds or dollars on creating web assets with interesting stories that attract links from journalists. Let's take a look at Wallet Hub. We've actually redone a few campaigns from here. Of course, in our own way, with the new data, with fresh insights, and we landed lots of links with this approach. So you go to, let's say, wallethub.com, and you select best by links, and you can see which stories have attracted. Some of them will have product page links or so on, but you can say edu, that's kind of a digital PR campaign, because that's like the content asset, right? Best and worst states to retire, right? And you can see the methodology, their data sources. You can see everything they've done. It's like a blueprint for a successful campaign. Just go and replicate it with your own style, your own data, tweak the methodology to make it even more interesting. But this landed 1,000 links. It's crazy. Let's see what links it got. Let's see, referring domains. Right, this is like, I'm even getting excited now that I'm presenting this. I'm like, I'm going to pass this on to my team. Hey, come on, let's do some of these campaigns, right? Look what websites linked back to them. New York Times, right? How good that is. Investopedia, Daily Mail, CBS News, Entrepreneur. It's an idea that will work. Redo this every year or every half a year. So the bigger the study is, and I think the more time you have to wait until it's going to get some traction again, right? That's my philosophy. But they share everything. They share the methodology. Is like at the bottom. Look at this. Ask the experts, methodology. All the data sources, everything is here, right? That's the best way to find ideas that is going to work. Don't go and be, oh, I'm going to find this idea because I think it's so cool and I think it should work. If it's not been proven to be working in the past, 10 years and nobody covered it, it's very, very likely that nobody will ever cover it in the future as well. As I said, there might be, some chances, but it's not a safe bet for digital PR. But look at this. They have thousands of pages. It's thousands of ideas they can extract from here. All right, best cities for jobs in 2024. Most fun cities in America. Literally for every niche, for every industry, you can extract an idea from here, redo it with your own sprinkle on it, and you will land lots of links, right?
All right, that's if I think if someone is really good at reverse engineering, he
Yeah,
can get a lot of ideas.
100%, unlimited. Literally, just with Wallet Hub, you can have unlimited ideas. They have thousands of pages.
All right.
So now that you have the stories, I'm going to show you how you can also find journalists. And some of you might be, familiar with these tools, but some of you might not. So you can use, there's many tools that you can use. There's like Cision.com, Roxhill Media, Muckrack.com, Velio, Prowly. There's lots of tools, but I'm going to just showcase two of them. Roxhill Media is one of the tools that we are using. This is one of the best tools for UK based publishers. It doesn't mean it's not good for the US, but we have found that Muckrack is slightly better for the US. It's not a big difference. You can just run with Roxhill and do like magic in the US as well. But we have chosen to use Roxhill for the UK and Muckrack for the US. And I'll showcase both of them. So let's say you wrote a study about car accidents. The simplest way to, like the most basic way to do it, you just use the keyword search feature, car accidents, right? And it will give you all the journalists who wrote about car accidents. This is a very basic kind of list, but you can extend. You can say, or road rage. That's very likely that a driving journalist would cover. So we immediately have 300 journalists here, and you can see exactly what they wrote about. It's mostly about crime, so you might want to keep him out of the list. Let's see, Rory. This also writes about, I think it's for the road rage. I think that's what triggers this, but you can refine the searches, right? Taxi driver, drive-through, delivery, lower brake. So this is about accidents, right? And you can further add, add keywords in here like or and you can advanced operators. It's a very good tool. You can, let's say you wrote a study about the most intelligent royal. So we wrote about most intelligent royal, and you will see lots of publications covering it, right? The Express and so on. So how do you, this was, by the way, this was a very kind of polarized campaign where we named, on behalf of Oxford Royale, our client, we named Meghan Markle as being the most, I think this is an unlinked mention, but we had like, 50 links with this campaign on some other publications. It was like, what do you mean? Meghan Markle is the most clever, like she's not, she's the other royal. And royals are like, either you hate it or love it.
Yeah, right.
Let's just replicate. Let's just find publications who wrote about Meghan Markle. Of course, now the time is not the best with the royals because they had some issues. So, but we can find journalists who write about Meghan Markle, and we can just export the list. So you have an export, select all, let's say, but you shouldn't select all. You should just manually pick them. And then you can say download all of them. You can import them into like Gmail or whatever email service you're using. And you can even send it from Roxhill. So that's Roxhill. You can choose the country. You can choose the outlet type. It's a very good tool for finding the right journalists, especially for the UK. Same with Muckrack. Muckrack is the same. You can just say Prince Harry, and you can have lots of journalists who wrote about Prince Harry in the past, and you can select the time frame. Like in the past, if you go down here, you can say how since from this period to this period, we have 177 journalists who wrote about Prince Harry, right? It's the same as Roxhill Media. So these are the tools that we are using, and I suggest you should use. The tools for a small license, for like a one team or like a small team license, is about £5,000 per year. So around 500 £500 £500 a month. It's the same for both. If you have a larger team, like we pay for these two tools, we are paying $120,000 in licenses per year for like a larger team, which is quite a crazy sum, but it helps us get the job done like at scale. But there's like Velio, it's the same price. Prowly is I think it's like £100 a month, which is cheaper. It's not as comprehensive as these tools, but I think it's a very good place to start from, like with Prowly. Okay, so now we have the journalist, but how do we write the email? What do we write in the email, right? I'm going to walk you through one of our press releases where I showcase exactly how we run, how we structure an email, and what you should put in the email, what you should not put in the email. And this is how the intro is. So for the title, you should use expert reveals. This is, by the way, this is not the title. This is the first paragraph in the email, and you should say expert reveals. Whatever we want to reveal about the expert, and you should keep the title, like the title of the email, very short, very concise. The body of the email, you have to capture the journalist's attention and then get them to keep on reading. You cannot put in fluff. You cannot be too much like, oh, happy, how is your life? Like, I've seen there's lots of sunshine now. Don't talk about anything else but the actual value that you provide with the email. So this first line is very important, because with every email client, you see the title of the email, and then you see a few words from the body of the email. So this gives you a second chance to sell the press release. It gives you another opportunity to reveal something to journalists that gets them to click and open your email. So very important not to just put any random thing here, but be very strategic on how you phrase and make it like clickbaity, but also very to the point. So journalists see this in their email client and they click on it. Just say a small intro here, and then just introduce the client, and then elaborate on your advice or your tip. This is an expert commentary type of campaign, and you keep it simple, keep it short. Just elaborate on the 5 tips. Usually 4 tips are what we share. Sometimes it can be more, but you don't want to go beyond like 10, because it's just going to make it too comprehensive. And this is how a typical outreach email looks like. We don't put in anything, any fluff. It's very important to ask for the link at the end. Just make sure, hey, if you're going to use this story, please credit a link back to a client who commissioned the research. They don't have to, and don't get upset if they will not link. But if you ask them and if you're polite with them, then they will most of the time will add the link. And at the end, you just put down a very detailed methodology. Make sure you outline exactly how you've done, the research, where you took the, advice from, and just make sure you guide the journalist to the source of the data or to the source of the insight. And that's pretty much it. That's how, an email looks like. And you should just keep it simple and go as concise as possible.
All right.
Cool. Data sources. So as I mentioned, you can create stories out of nothing by just using data sources. So ONS is one of the best places to, especially for the UK, but there are similar data sources from everywhere, from every country, like from Germany or from Europe or from India. From everywhere. There's like you can literally find data sources in every country, like unlimited. ONS is one such data source. You can have statistics from across the UK population, inflation, everything. Like governments usually have like big data at disposal, and most of them are sharing it freely. So employment rate, unemployment rate, green spaces in every area, new houses being built in every area, birth rate, how many people were born in every area. It's like it's one of the best. This ONS, just with ONS, you can probably craft, I think, hundreds of thousands of press releases, hundreds of thousands of stories you can tell just with one data source ONS, because you can also combine data sources. It's not just population or parking fines. It's also parking fines per 100,000 inhabitants in every area. That makes it like the most people, the area where people get hit with most parking fines. It's not just London. I think I was talking about this at the conference in Saigon last week, the week before. It's not just how many parking fines are, but let's take into consideration the population data as well, right? So ONS is a good source. Police data, there's always some police data that's being shared freely, like crime stats, data, right? Everything, like per region, like every region has got like, oh, how many burglaries have been in this area, how many pickpockets have been in this area. There's literally unlimited data source on police data, like government data sites as well. We have YouGov as well. That's for, again, I'm showing this for the UK, but I'm pretty sure you can find similar places for every country, including Asia and Europe and America and everywhere. So YouGov is like almost like a public opinion place where government conducts lots of surveys, and we've had great success. Again, there's unlimited surveys or on the economy, on business, on everything, cost of living. So you can leverage this data source to create, again, unlimited stories. And you can even combine them with lots of other data sources. So this is another one, Census, that's for the US. So this is great for the US. This is probably one of our biggest link magnet assets. Again, unlimited data sources, unlimited. Like there's literally data for everything, from how many dogs people own in every state to whatever you can imagine. There's unlimited data. It's just diving in, being curious, and just asking the data lots of questions, right? Combining data, and you'll get lots of good stories that will hopefully get you lots of links. Right? Canada has got the same. And even the websites look almost similar, right? Canada.
I think they have designed from the same designer.
Yeah, probably. Edward Snowden was working on all of them. Maybe. Let's see. Right? It's like, so these are the best data sources, because first of all, they are official government data sources. It's not like a third party, whoever. It's the government who provides the data, which means they are the most trusted data sources by journalists. Because if you get the reporting right, then your story will be very, very accurate. If you get the data, the data is accurate because it's from the government, right? It's not just you running a survey. It's the government who run the survey and who's been pre-approved and going through lots of departments to get it published, right? And that's pretty much it. One last thing that I want to mention is like, what is journalism? I think as a PR, you must understand what journalists want. You must understand that side of the story as well. You must understand why they need this. So journalism is, as I mentioned earlier, a journalist cannot be biased and they cannot be opinionated. A good journalist just shares stories that are provided by others. They cannot say anything about anything. They usually, that's what kind of journalism is. They take a story and tell it in the most unbiased, unopinionated way possible, right? And that's what we help them do, because they can have a crypto expert having an opinion. That's fine. They can have a sleep expert having an opinion and sharing it. It's fine, but they cannot have an opinion. And that's why they need PRs. That's why they need us, PRs, public relation experts, who connect them with experts with opinions, right? we connect journalists with clients who are kind of experts in their field and who have an opinion. It's okay for them to share that, right? And that's why, that's why this works. That's why this little circle of, journalist, public relations, and client kind of works very well. And that is what we have discovered as SEOs, that we can leverage this relationship to earn links and improve the rankings of the clients.
All right. I
That's
think
it.
this is the masterclass of digital PR.
It is. That's what I want
Yes,
it to
it
be.
is. Yes. So thank you so much, Ferry. You have shared, I have seen multiple video and webinars of yours. So, but this time you have literally shared on screen the interface of the tools. And I think audience got a lot of information and insights, how they can create new stories, how they can take ideas and reverse engineer the existing stories. So let's take questions quickly if there are. So how do you approach a top authority? So how do you, from sales point of view, do you approach clients or clients approach you?
Um, so do you mean like getting clients on board? How do we get the
Yeah,
clients?
yeah. Do
Very
you
simple.
run?
Yeah.
Yes, please share.
So the way clients come to us, it's they discover us on social media. But you can do it many ways. You can run ads on Facebook, but you have to have some good case studies on the website. I think that's very important to show on the website what you've achieved, and if they like it and they can associate with that client, and you share it on the website, then they will get in touch, and they will want to work with you. So there's many ways. You can sponsor conferences, and you can run. I think ads are quite good. We do run some ads, and people see us, and they already know me. So many people in the SEO world know me, and they see my face on the ad, and they like, oh, like that's very, I just need digital PR now. I've had a chat with the team, and our ad just shows up on the Facebook, and then they just get in touch. So ads, but also, as I said, LinkedIn is the best place to get digital PR clients, or any clients, if you share your knowledge for free with the world. That's how you do it. Just share the knowledge, and then when people need an expert in digital PR, they will remember you and they will come to you naturally, without any friction.
So a lot of us from Pakistan came to know about you from your factor of joining humor with SEO.
It's so good. It's so much
Yeah,
fun as well. It's so much fun, I think, because it's so hard to do. We don't really have other, there's no other people doing it, right?
yeah.
And there's other people doing, not just in digital PR, but in SEO. Everyone is like, very, technical focused. Let's just, create some, some entertainment. Still keep the technical, the pure value of it, but do it in a way that creates some entertainment, create something cool. So even at the conference when I speak, I'm entertaining. So I'm not just oh, this is how you do it, and then see you later. Like, oh, hey, while my wife was having a shower last night, and that's what I'm gonna speak next month in Poland. I'm gonna tell her like a very funny story of like a Russian guy who knocked on my door. I've already posted that on social media, and it was like almost like went viral. So I'm gonna try to integrate the virality of social media posts into just further sharing the knowledge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Sayed Ali, and he is saying that uh, how do you plan digital PR or how do you plan link building for a new website? Where do you place digital PR links? Do you recommend some basic profile type or natural backlinks? How do you give a plan for a new website? Quickly, in a minute.
So for a new website, I think you would have to just, I think brand anchor text are heaven, because it's natural, right? A brand new website would be mentioned as a brand, and expert commentary is the way to go, with a brand new website, or even you can share data, but you have to be mentioned as the expert in your field. So expert commentary types of campaigns are the ones that you should run when it's a new website, almost like Haro. But because that's where most people start, and that kind of makes sense. But digital PR is like Haro in the fast lane, where you don't wait for them to come to you, but you go to them with the expert quote. because you anticipate based on what they have written about in the past, and you anticipate what they're going to write about. So expert commentary is the way to go.
All right, perfect. So we have a question from our friend Rafi. Where is the question? Do you send the same story to multiple journalists? If yes, then why they publish the story which is being published in multiple publications, or simply different stories to different journalists with same stats?
Yeah, so we send the same story to most of the journalists. We sometimes send the same story to like 1,000 journalists, right? But it's very important to realize that our like story is not a ready-made article. Our story is a foundation for a potential article that the journalists are gonna write themselves. So we don't send a ready-made article to them. We send them a report, almost like a report or like the foundation, like the essence of a potential article that will be written by the journalists when they get it, right? So it's very important to distinguish this. Like, you don't send a ready-made article. You send the essence of an article, and they create a more thorough article based on what you have sent to them.
All right. So let's take the last question. How do you measure or how the clients can measure the ROI of a digital PR campaign?
Yeah, so I always say, you can think of it as, how do you measure the ROI of a protein shake that you drink every morning and you want to get fit? Because that's kind of how it is, right? Well, if you drink a protein shake, and if you sleep well, if you go to the gym and you don't drink alcohol and so on, and you see an improvement in the next 1 month, it means that everything that you have done holistically kind of works, and you would want to keep it working. If, let's say, you drink the protein shake in the morning, like, I know, 400 grams, and you don't go to the gym, and you're like, don't sleep well, you go and get drunk every day, and you see no effects on your body, then you might say, well, the protein shake is not good. But in reality, the holistic approach of getting fit is not the right one. It's not just, the digital PR. So that's how I always explain to clients, well, the ROI will only work if it's tied into everything else that you do. So you cannot just say, oh, I've launched a digital PR campaign, and then this got me like £200,000 back in revenue because, I had like, it's not a direct, it's not like PPC where you can measure every click, right? You can measure the long-term effect. So if you do digital PR, if you do this and that, and the trend is going up, it means you're kind of doing something right, and you should, keep on doing what you do. If it doesn't work, then you might want to, stop digital PR, and you might want to stop, you might want to prune some of the pages that get no clicks in Search Console, and do some other things as well and test what works, right?
All right. So we have a participant, Mr. Russell, and he have raised his hand from like last 10 minutes. So let me unmute you, man. Okay. You can ask your question, Russell.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for allowing me to ask a question. I have a very simple question. Like, as many participants over there, and like 42, and many of us, like, they are just very in the initial stage of their digital career, like SEO, and few will be there definitely for the PR scope of work. How we can provide you a valuable any services which you required, like from this region, so it can benefit you and benefit us as well as an initially on the initial stage.
So can you just simplify? Can you simplify the question a little bit?
Let me okay.
Yes, please.
Let me share the question. So I think Afzal wants to say that how they can join you, or how they can offer their services to people like you from UK and the US. Not in specifically in digital PR, but in general in SEO.
So how can you find clients in the UK and the US? Is that kind of the question?
Yeah.
in any terms, in any means, like which can help your agency, like you need affordable services from our side. Like it could be anything, like even like data scraping, it could be outreaching people. What we can services we can provide you, and we can learn from your experiences, so it can benefit you as well. We can get some, of course, reward as well in that demeanor.
Yeah, so I think we with our company it's a bit weird because we only hire from the UK, and for the same purpose I said, we need to know the culture, right? The culture, like we could hire, I've got a company in Romania as well, and we could just hire, you know, almost like a half salary, which will still be good, and we could hire people there. But we don't, because they need to understand the British culture. They need to understand the local culture. And the good news is that, you know, the British culture is kind of tied into the US culture as well. So our team members can understand, you know, Elvis Presley and Taylor Swift and everything that's, you know, blowing up in the US. They still, you know, they still understand it. So that's why we have chosen to hire from the UK. We do have, you know, a dev team who's like offshore. So software development, we are doing lots of it in-house. Maybe there, but apart from that, we have, you know, all the team members are in the UK at the moment, and we keep it this way because, you know, of the culture aspect.
Perfect. So one last request, Fery, please start creating videos for YouTube. I think your YouTube channel is abundant from last few months and years.
It is.
So we are really waiting. One way you can do is like your previous series where you and your team members were teaching digital PR to in specifically. So my suggestion for you is you can set up a small like a panel discussion where you can sit back with your team member and you just take questions from the audience and just answer and straight publish it, so that you can be on publishing side.
Yeah, we have plans for it, but there's so many moving parts at the company. We have you know, so many things happening at once. It's just crazy. So I don't, unfortunately I don't have time to go. We actually have a studio. We have like a warehouse, you know, where we have like lots of green screens, lots of camera. Even here we have like camera and so on. But I just don't have the time. Literally, I'm like in like meetings all day, with the dev team or with the you know, with the PR team or with you know, new clients. I'm not in meetings with clients, with existing clients as much. Only when there's like, you know, only when they need me. But with new clients, I'm always going to meetings. Every you know, every client who comes on board, I go in a meeting personally with them.
All right. Okay, Fery. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this series, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing the screen and all those things, all those insights with us. If there is any specific question of our audience, you can ask on LinkedIn. Just find Fery on LinkedIn, on Facebook, in any group you can find him. Go on LinkedIn, share your reviews, share your learnings that you have learned today, and also share how you can implement these learnings and how you can generate those deadliest and powerful links of planet Earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, let me stop the recording. Stop.